Hello, Quincy Democrats. It is good to be with you. I'm Sonia Chang-Diaz. I'm a mom, a former public school teacher, and Massachusetts' first Latina and first Asian American state senator. And I am running for governor because every day it gets harder and harder for families to live here. Over the past 13 years, I have fought like hell to address the biggest challenges that we face as a state. And we've won big on $1.5 billion in progressive education funding for our schools, criminal justice reform, police accountability, LGBTQ rights. But over the course of this work, I've seen firsthand that we've still got too many people in government who are more concerned with holding on to power than doing something with it. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can deliver debt-free, quality education to every kid in Massachusetts from birth into adulthood. We can pass a Green New Deal to win the fight against climate change and create tens of thousands of new good-paying jobs. And we can solve our housing crisis and close the racial wealth divide. All we need is to stand together, see each other's fights as our own, and elect a governor who doesn't just say the right words, but who will take on our toughest fights, even when it's not politically convenient. I did not get into this race because I thought it was going to be easy, or because I saw a good career opportunity. I got into it because I have stood on the front lines with families across our state my whole life. I know the urgency of this moment that we're living in, and I know the future that we can build together. That's why I'm asking you to join us at soniachangdiaz.com and be a delegate for our campaign at the convention. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maura Healy, and I'm running for governor. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail. Thank you for participating in the caucus process and taking this first step in nominating our Democratic candidates for statewide office. I've stood with you as the people's lawyer, and now I'm running to be your governor, to bring us together and come back stronger than ever. We'll get our economy back on track and bring job training to every part of our state so that everyone can share in our growth. We'll make childcare more affordable so that every family can have the flexibility and support they need. And we'll modernize our schools so that our children can learn in a safe, sustainable environment. Together, we'll take on climate change. And because too many have waited too long, together we'll bring justice and equality to everyone. I'm asking for your support today as you elect delegates to the Democratic Nominating Convention in June. I hope you'll be part of my campaign. To learn more, please visit maurahealy.com. Again, thank you for participating. Enjoy the caucus.
Hi, my name is Bret Bero, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. As Massachusetts emerges from the COVID pandemic, we need to open up in a way that's safe but respectful for all. I have direct, personal experience addressing many of the issues that are critical to Massachusetts. I was a small business owner in central Massachusetts for over 20 years. I served on the board of the largest environmental testing company in North America. I'm on the faculty at Babson College, and my wife has been an occupational therapist in a Metro West school district. While others tout their experience at the highest level of government, I'm proud to have served in local town government. And as somebody who's dealt with both cancer and COVID in 2021, I know that healthcare is a basic human right. This election is building our foundation for the future. My experiences complement rather than replicate those of our governor. I ask for your support in my race for Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.
My name is Kim Driscoll. I'm the mayor of Salem, and I'm running to be your next Lieutenant Governor. I'd like to share a little bit about my background. My dad is from Lynn and was a chef in the Navy, and that's where he met my mom, a native of Trinidad. I came to Salem to attend college and fell in love with the city and my husband, Nick, a second-generation union bricklayer. Together, we've raised 3 great kids here and feel fortunate to live in and be part of an inclusive and welcoming community. I've worked in local government for more than 2 decades. Early in my career, I worked in Chelsea as the city was coming out of receivership, first as chief legal counsel and later as deputy city manager. Those early professional years taught me the value of good government and who pays the price for failures in leadership. Seeing a need for action in my hometown of Salem, I ran for mayor and have helped make Salem a hip, historic destination for visitors and residents alike, professionalizing our financing, improving city services, and making historic investments in schools, parks, and infrastructure along the way. Mayors like me have been on the ground in front of our most urgent fights, from COVID response and recovery to racial equity, the climate crisis, strengthening our public schools, and making housing more affordable. As we enter the next phase of this pandemic, communities will need a strong state partner. As a mayor, I've been in the trenches, making the tough decisions and getting stuff done. I'm proud to be part of the GSD wing of government, and I'll bring that same skill set and sense of urgency to Beacon Hill as your next Lieutenant Governor. There's a lot at stake. I'd be honored to have you with me in this race. Let's make history and put 2 women in the corner office on Beacon Hill. Join us at kimdriscoll.org.
Representative Dr. Tami Gouveia, and I'm so honored to be running to be your next Lieutenant Governor. I grew up in the city of Lowell, and it was my early childhood experiences that inspired me to give back to my community. It's why I've been a public health social worker for the last 25 years, leading on issues related to the opioid crisis and positive youth development. As a state representative, I have passed bold climate policies and legislation to green our transportation system and make it more reliable and more affordable for our working families. I have stood up for our working families, LGBTQ rights, and racial justice. As a single parent, I understand the financial struggles that so many of our working parents face every single day. As your next Lieutenant Governor, I will put the health, the well-being, and the dignity of every single resident at the heart of decision-making as we work towards a just and equitable COVID recovery and response, work towards building not only affordable housing, but humane housing, making sure that every resident has access to the mental health treatment that they need, and making the investments in our education and our early child care system. We invite you to join us for our historic campaign, electing the first doctor of public health, a social worker, and a single parent to the corner office. You can find out more about us and our campaign at tamigouveia.com.
2, 1.
Hi, everybody. I'm State Senator Eric Lesser, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. I think we all know Massachusetts is such a great place. We're so proud to be from here, but it's getting harder and harder to live here. It's just too expensive. And I've got the record and the experience to do something about it. At the height of the pandemic, I wrote the economic aid legislation that got $600 million out the door to our smallest businesses. We helped keep afloat bodegas, nail salons, dry cleaners, community restaurants. We wrote into the legislation that the money first had to go to minority-owned businesses, immigrant-owned businesses, and businesses located in our lowest income communities. At the height of the opioid pandemic, I wrote the legislation that set up the Narcan bulk purchasing program. We got Narcan into the hands of school nurses and other first responders, helping save hundreds of lives across our state. And for the last 7 years, I've been working to connect our Commonwealth through high-speed rail, from Pittsfield to Boston. There is nothing we could do that would reduce greenhouse gas emissions more than investing in clean public transportation. And it would create thousands and thousands of units of new housing right at the time when families are struggling to buy homes here in Massachusetts and rents are crushing people. And it would create thousands of new jobs, especially in the places that have been left out of the high-tech and life sciences boom. As for the Governor's Council, that's an important role as the Lieutenant Governor chairs the Governor's Council. I'm going to prioritize diverse judges. I worked on 2 Supreme Court nominations when I worked for President Obama, for Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor. And I would prioritize diversity in every respect. We need more racial diversity, we need more gender diversity, we need geographic diversity, and we need more public defenders and public interest lawyers serving as judges in our state as well. I hope you'll give me some consideration. I'm committed to being a partner for our next governor, making sure she's a success. I know we all share that goal.
When you run for office, people want to know why. I do this work because I just had a child who will be part of the first generation to have fewer opportunities than their parents did, struggling with rising housing costs and the impacts of climate change. I am determined to leave a better world for my child and for yours. I represent the region I grew up in the Massachusetts State Senate. Before that, I worked for the United Nations in the Middle East for nearly 10 years. In Iraq, I was a team leader in negotiations over disputed territories. In Jerusalem, I worked on the Middle East peace process, including multiple Gaza ceasefires. In Syria, I worked with former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan on a ceasefire, and later to remove Syria's chemical weapons program. I saw the importance of correcting historic wrongs, and I learned what we can get done when we bring people together, even when they seem their most divided. I brought these lessons with me when I joined the State Senate, where I represent a large and diverse district the size of Rhode Island. The journey across my district and the state highlights our vast potential and our strong connection as a Commonwealth. The pandemic showed us vulnerability in one neighborhood makes us all vulnerable. In Pittsfield, before joining the Senate, I started a program to combat youth violence, grappling with the consequences of generations of racial injustice. It is past time to actively change the policies and budget choices that have led to different income, education, and health outcomes by race. In the Senate, I have worked to make the state economy stronger by linking us all through transit and critical infrastructure, including bridging the digital divide. Similarly, pollution and carbon emissions in one part of the Commonwealth impact climate change and air quality everywhere. I have worked to promote natural carbon sequestration and reform public utility proceedings when a pipeline took our protected lands. I created a new budget item for schools neglected due to low and declining enrollment to ensure kids have access to quality education regardless of their zip code. Right now, I lead the Senate's effort to reimagine and modernize Massachusetts. I want to ensure every corner of the Commonwealth is prepared to participate in the economy of tomorrow, from Wellfleet to Worcester to Williamstown. Building a better future means lifting up the people who have been doing the work for years, standing shoulder to shoulder with our community, and fighting for the things we believe in. I've never shied away from the big issues. I got people to the negotiating table in some of the world's most intractable conflicts, and I can do the same here at home. That's why I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. By acting honestly and decisively on COVID-19, racial injustice, economic development and job creation, climate change, traffic and transit, and housing, we can build a Commonwealth that works for everyone. This is the moment. This is your moment. Let's do this together. Yeah! You guys are enthusiastic.
Good morning, Quincy Dems. My name is Shannon Liss-Riordan, and I'm running for Massachusetts Attorney General. My career has been defined by taking on big challenges and delivering big results for regular people. Throughout my legal career, I have used and shaped the law to improve people's lives. For more than 20 years, I have represented working people. I've made national headlines, leading teams of lawyers taking on some of the largest corporations in America, and time and again, we have beaten the odds. We've won against corporations like Starbucks, FedEx, Uber, Amazon, IBM, my alma mater, Harvard University, which I've sued at least 4 times. I've represented everyone from waitresses to janitors to Uber drivers, and helped them recover hundreds of millions of dollars that corporate America stole from them. This work has changed industries across Massachusetts and throughout the country. I'm proud to have fought for the people, combating racial discrimination, standing up for gender equality, and protecting the dignity of work. I see this race as a job interview, and I ask you to consider my experience, my skills, my passion, and my unparalleled record when you are choosing the next lawyer for the people of Massachusetts. I'm the only candidate in this race who has represented working people. I'm the only practicing lawyer. I have won the jury trials and the appeals that have pushed the law to more fairly and equally serve the people. I've been called the workers' champion. Now I'm ready to be Massachusetts champion. My name is Shannon Liss-Riordan. I am running to be your next Attorney General, and I humbly ask for your support. Thank you.
Hello, fellow Democrats. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today as you gather to elect delegates to the Democratic Convention. Thank you for your commitment to the Democratic Party and our shared values. I'm a proud Democrat, and I would be honored to earn your support for Attorney General at the convention in June. Hi, I'm Quentin Palfrey, and I'm running for Attorney General of Massachusetts. I became a lawyer because the law can be a force for good in people's lives. My parents were pediatricians. They worked hard every day to improve children's lives, and they raised me to believe in service. Caring for the most vulnerable, being their advocate, that's what drives me. As Assistant Attorney General, I sued the big insurance companies to stop predatory practices that put profits before patients. I founded the Voter Protection Corps to fight voter suppression and to protect our democracy. In the White House under President Barack Obama, I fought to build an economy that works for everyone. And working for President Biden, starting on day one, I helped launch the Build Back Better initiative. Now I'm running for Attorney General to stand up for the working families of Massachusetts, protecting the rights of consumers against predatory lenders and scammers, standing with workers against wage theft, and bringing urgency to the fight against climate change. With structural racism still holding people back and keeping people down, our next Attorney General must break down those barriers to truly live up to the American promise of equal justice under the law. I'm Quentin Palfrey, and I'm running to be the people's lawyer, an Attorney General who stands up for you.
Seldom in our history has the honest, accurate administration of elections been more important. I'm proud of our efforts here in Massachusetts, introducing many reforms that have led to record voter turnouts in our most recent elections. I'm also extremely concerned about the false claims of fraud that have led to violence throughout our country, and indeed has led to suspicions about the accuracy of elections. In order to call out false claims of fraud, you must have the expertise and experience to do so, which I have done. I am also concerned about the ruthless efforts of Republicans to deprive citizens of their rights in other parts of the country. I think we need to continue our efforts here in Massachusetts to expand voter rights, but we also must be prepared to attack those false claims when they occur. My ask of you is this: not to reward me for my past success, but in fact, allow me to continue to lead the effort going forward.
Hi, I'm Tanisha Sullivan, and I'm running for Secretary of State. I'm a seasoned attorney, former Chief Equity Officer in the Boston Public Schools, and a civil rights leader, most recently serving as volunteer president for the NAACP in Boston. We're at a defining moment in the fight to realize the full promise of our democracy. And this moment demands courageous, inclusive, and visionary leadership in order to deliver on that promise for all of us. As Secretary of State, I will fearlessly champion the advancement of voting rights, and I will activate the full power of this office to promote economic opportunity, cultivate civic participation, and work to build a more accessible and transparent government that works for all of us. I'm excited about this campaign because I believe in what's possible for a stronger, more vibrant, and expansive democracy across Massachusetts. This moment demands more. We deserve more, and together we'll deliver more. I hope you'll join us. I'd be proud to earn your vote at the Democratic Convention in June and at the ballot box in September. If you'd like to learn more about our campaign or get involved, please visit us at tanishasullivan.com. Thank you.
Hi there. I'm very excited to share with all of you that I'm running for re-election to be your state treasurer. When I first ran, I said that economic stability and economic opportunity were my personal mission. And it is these values that have driven everything we have done. Investing in people, bringing financial learning to high school students to help keep them out of debt, teaching seniors how to avoid frauds and scams, ensuring our service members and veterans receive their coming home bonus that so often is a financial boost they need in challenging times, empowering women and girls so they can break through barriers to attain their goals and get paid what they're worth. Our programs and planning have ensured that we've been able to weather the storm of the pandemic and be there to provide help and support. Our financial stability has allowed us to get equipment necessary for hospital workers and first responders. The pension fund has continued to grow, saving taxpayers their dollars and ensuring seniors are secure. We created a COVID relief grant program to support small businesses, particularly in our gateway cities. We've accomplished so much, but planned so much more. We are taking the She Session for women head on to work towards getting women back into the workforce and getting quality, affordable childcare for their families. We have just filed a bill to create a public-private partnership to have mandatory financial education for kids in the school. We instituted a new program at the pension fund to invest with more women and people of color while still maintaining excellent returns. And we, like so many, see climate as one of the top risks that could harm our state. And so we've accelerated our proxy voting, working with investors from all over the country to push companies towards a zero carbon world. And we are not stopping now. Economic stability, economic security, and empowerment. These are my values, and this is what I will continue to fight for.
My name is Chris Dempsey, and I'm running for Massachusetts State Auditor because I believe that Massachusetts is the greatest state in the country, and we deserve a state government to match. As your Chief Accountability Officer, I'll bring my experience working in the executive branch of state government and working outside of state government to protect the public interest. As Assistant Secretary of Transportation for Governor Patrick, I co-founded the MassDOT program that created all the smartphone apps that tell you when your bus or your train will arrive in real time. And as the co-founder of No Boston Olympics, I led the grassroots effort that stood up to some of the most powerful corporate interests in Massachusetts, pushing an Olympic bid that would have required all of us as state taxpayers to cover 100% of Olympic cost overruns. As state auditor, I'll make the office the first in the country to incorporate carbon accounting into audits of state agencies so that we can hold them accountable for reducing pollution. I live on the first floor of a triple-decker, about 2 blocks from where I grew up, with my amazing fiancée Anna. We're looking forward to starting a family, and we want to do that in a Massachusetts that is the best that it can be. That means making state government the best that it can be, and that's why I'm running for state auditor. I ask for your support at today's caucus and at the convention in June. Thank you for being a part of this important Democratic Party process.
Hi, everyone. First and foremost, thank you for being active in our Democratic Party, the conversations about our future, and the direction we take this Commonwealth. My name's Diana DiZoglio, and for those of you who don't know me, I was raised by a young single mother in a working class household. I'm currently a state senator from Methuen, and I'm running to be your next state auditor. I firmly believe that sunlight is the best disinfectant, and our state government needs some cleaning. The auditor is the chief accountability and transparency officer for the Commonwealth. And right now, almost every single good government organization has consistently ranked Massachusetts as the least transparent of any government in the United States. As auditor, I'll do my best to change that. I'm not running to simply be your auditor, but to be your advocate for a better, smarter government that does more to lift people up. We need a government that's responsible, accountable, and fair, one that not only spends your tax dollars well, but spends it on the right things. As auditor, I will not just passively audit what's already been done by others and then comment on it. I'll actively work to improve our government to help prevent problems before they happen. As a small businesswoman, a staff member of nonprofits, and an elected official, I have an extensive record of fighting for working families across our communities. I'm the only candidate in this race with a long and consistent history of demanding transparency and accountability up on Beacon Hill. Please join this campaign, commit to volunteering, and become a DiZoglio delegate at the convention in June. I can't do it without your support. I respectfully ask for your vote. Please visit dianaforma.com to get involved today. Thank you so much.
I'm Michael Morrissey, your Norfolk District Attorney. I'm running for re-election, and I'm here to ask for your support and for your vote. COVID has changed a great deal about how we all do business. The court stopped all jury trials and much day-to-day business during parts of the pandemic. Without the normal stream of trials, we got busy with other tasks, clearing out old warrants, working with the judges and the sheriff to reduce the jail population to safe levels. We formed and implemented a conviction integrity unit, and to add another layer of review, even beyond the normal appeals process for those people serving prison sentences who believe their conviction is unjust. In that process, I hired a newly retired Superior Court judge to provide his expertise in fairness. Without a functional courthouse, we work with the courts to create a trial center at the Lombardo Function Hall to get back up and running. But the backlog is substantial, and I feel personally invested in many of these cases. We've formed relationships with the victims of crime and the surviving families of homicide victims who have turned to the courts for justice. I'd like to serve another term to bring those cases through the system. I've assembled a very talented team of prosecutors by treating people fairly, providing support and professional training to those who work for me, and creating an atmosphere that is about finding justice, even if that does not involve a guilty verdict. To that end, we have expanded our diversion programs to include not just juveniles, but some adults, including mental health diversion and drug diversion, getting people the treatment they need instead of incarceration that won't help. We were the first in New England to establish a Veterans Treatment Court and one of the few counties to also have a drug court, a domestic violence court, and a mental health court. We have all focused our resources on preventable deaths in the county and identified drug overdoses and automobile crashes as the leading killers. Overdose deaths have dropped from 3 a week to 2 a week. Last year, while the state's road deaths increased by 20%, Norfolk County's road deaths dropped by 20%. I hope and believe that is due in part to the work that we've done with our community partners and our local police chiefs. We have a lot to be proud of, and I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to make a difference. I ask for your continued support and your vote. Thank you.
My name is Peter Collins. I'm a lifelong Milton Democrat. And even though I reside in Milton, I've lived there all my life, I actually lived my life in Quincy. I'm calling to you from my law office, which is located in the Willwood School in Quincy. I've been here for 36 years. I spend most of my time here. My law practice is to help injured workers who are hurt. I help them at the DIA, and I have a team of 3 other attorneys that help with that. But for the past 28 years, I've had the privilege of being your county commissioner, and primarily the vote came from Quincy. So I can't thank you and all the citizens of Quincy to allow me to have this job. I love it. It's awesome. So those of you who don't know much about the county's regional government, we go from Cohasset to Bellingham to Brookline. We own and operate all the courthouses, which includes Quincy District Court. We own and operate the golf course, the President's Golf Course, which was purchased by the county from the Wollaston Golf Course. Had we not purchased it, it would have been the Jordan Marsh Warehouse, or it would have been house lots, and we would have lost that open space. We do a lot of terrific things at the county. We have the Norfolk County Agricultural High School. It teaches about 600 kids vocational classes every year. 16 of those children are from Quincy this year. We right now we're in the process at the Aggie of putting up a solar project, which we hope to make the Aggie carbon neutral within the next couple of years. It's really a cool thing. We have taken over ARPA money. So ARPA money came through the county, and we're actually going to be distributing about $18 million to Quincy through ARPA. It's a terrific program. I just want to tell you, county government's regional government, it's integral to the system. Alicia worked at the registry, Noel DeBona worked at the registry, and every time you have a property transaction, it has to run through the registry. So you can thank Alicia and Noel for making sure everything's done right. Thank you, Alicia. And I just want to tell you, I spent my whole life in Quincy. I can't thank you enough. I grew up going to Wally Beach and parking at Fenno Street with my mom. She got a coffee ice cream soda with Dieter at Brigham's, and now the ice cream shop forever. My office is here in Quincy. I pack bundles at the Star Market, and I still shop there. I pump gas at the Sunoco station that was across the street from the North Quincy High. That's now a bank. For the past year, I volunteered at Manit at the COVID-19 clinic every week with my sister Sue, who recently retired from the Quincy school system after 5 decades, Sue Nash. And I cannot tell you the love I have for Quincy. And I just ask that you consider me once again for your vote come this fall. I do have an opponent. Thank you again.